Greetings, Karen Clay. Thanks for watching Somatic Unwinding as presenting you the Feldenkrais Awareness Through Movement lessons in digestible bits. Been running for 2 years now. Thanks so much for your support. We're going to continue with our couch potato series where we work lying forward on a couch. It looks like this. And you'll notice that because my couch is not quite long enough, I've actually taken this cushion off so that I have the full length of the couch. It's not ideal for the couch to drop backwards, but that's all I've got, so that's what I'm going to use. You're also welcome to use an armchair that's big enough. You need room for your arms, and or a bed. It needs to be about as high as the bones that stick out on the front of your pelvis. So if it were too tall, you could raise yourself up with some blankets or some cushions. So go ahead and get yourself set up. Pause your phone, and I will be back. We can come back when you're ready. And we'll start with a baseline. So lengthening your legs on the floor. And bringing your attention now to the head. What part of the back of the head touches the floor? Is it dead center in the middle, or is it a little bit right or left of the center line? Is it more towards the top of the head, or is it more towards the base of the neck? So another way of asking that is, how deep is the curve in the back of the neck? Is your chin pointed up to the ceiling, or is your chin close to your chest? Don't change it, just notice it. And then how many fingertips could you stack on top of each other and insert under the curve behind your neck? Go ahead and measure that, because we'll take a post test at the end of the session. And now bring your attention to your shoulders. What do you sense about which shoulder blade you feel more strongly? Which shoulder blade feels flatter to the floor? And what you feel about the spine between the shoulder blades. Whether you can sense that area or whether it's a no man's land. And now, beginning with the first 5% of rolling your head on the floor, think about the back of your head and how it's touching the surface of the floor and how it's changing where it touches. When you change where the back of your head touches, then your nose moves. You're not looking to measure a restriction. You're not looking to see how far you go. We have a cultural proclivity to want to go as far as we can to feel ourselves, because if we don't feel pain or we don't feel limitation, we don't know where we are. So we're going to change that context, and we're only going to be interested in what's available and what moves well, so that we don't have a constant attitude about something being wrong or looking for what's wrong. So as you start to increase how much your head rolls, notice what's happening elsewhere. Can you feel movement across your shoulders in the back? Do you feel that perhaps your neck is turning? Do you feel that your collarbones are moving? So take one hand and put your fingertips on the front and see whether there's any movement in your collarbones. There very likely could not be. This is not about something to live up to. It's about figuring out ways for you to sense yourself by asking questions. Now, what about your breastbone? Is your breastbone moving? What about your belly button? All right, so there's our test. We'll come back to that later. Bend your knees, stand your feet. Roll yourself to your side. Come up and approach your couch. I'm going to call it couch, even though it might be a chair or a bed for you. I'm just going to use one word because it's easier that way. So you want to have yourself leaning against the forward edge of the couch. And at first, all we're going to do is move into and away from the couch with the front of the pelvis. Your hands are resting. Forward, into, and away from. Keep your eyes closed, and as you do this, notice if the weight moves forward and back on your knees. And then pause for a moment and sense your shins and how much of your shins you can feel touching the floor. How much of the tops of your feet you feel touching the floor. Do you feel all 10 of the toenails, or just the big toenails, or just the little toenails? And now, instead of moving the whole pelvis, just move the right side forward into the edge of the couch and away, and the left side forward into the edge of the couch and away. And continue to do that. And notice there's two ways to do this. One would be to shift your weight right to left, and one would be to move your weight forward and backward relative to the front and back of your own body. So just see which one you do and which one you like better. And then please lengthen your spine way far out and come forward onto your couch surface. And roll your head a little bit to the right and to the left and sense which side is easier to lie on. And lie on the easy cheek, whichever one that is. You're going to turn your arms so that if you're facing right, your right elbow is bent and your right palm is down. Your left arm is long alongside you with the palm up. If you're facing left, your left elbow is bent, your left palm is on the surface of the couch. The right arm is alongside you with the palm up. So now shift your pelvis again, just like you did, right and left. Feel how it's different when your hips are flexed. Are you moving into the front of the couch face, or are you moving into the seat of the couch? There's no right or wrong answer. You could try both and discover which one you like better. In other words, are you paying more attention to the front of your pelvis or to the front of your thighs? They're on two different faces. The seat of the couch is in the horizontal plane, and the face of the couch is in the vertical plane. Good. Now cross your ankles and open your ankles. And cross your ankles and open your ankles. And take, like windshield wipers, both feet right and both feet left. Feel how that changes how your weight shifts in the front of yourself and how it relates to the surface of the couch. Good. Now, bring both palms down and let's just experiment with turning in both directions. So barely pick your head up like you're a baby. Right across your chin to the other side and see what it feels like to lie on that side. Are you on the nose? Are you on the forward part of the chin? Are you on the temple? Are you on the ears? Then move to the easier side. And is there more of your head that can be in contact with the surface of the couch? Is your weight further back towards the ear? Do you feel the jawbone as well? Turn again. Don't try to make it any better. Just really understand and taste the difference. Like tasting different wines or different kinds of chocolate.
And then please end up on the side that you prefer and bring your arms down, your one arm long, the other arm bent with the palm on the couch. And now will you move your head forward and back, sliding on the cheek until you find the most comfortable place for your shoulder and your head. And then like a little baby nuzzling before he goes to sleep, will you nod your head ever so softly? Yes. Your chin moves up and down a little bit, bending the neck forward and bending the neck back. How is the bent arm supporting you? How is your pelvis supporting you? But now instead of yes, roll your head into the table and back. So you're rolling your nose downward so that it gets closer to the table and then back to the beginning. Don't roll it backwards. Just roll it from the beginning to forward and back again to neutral. Now, add your arm to this movement. When you roll away and roll your nose away, push your elbow and your hand away. And when you roll into the table, pull your elbow and your hand towards you. So now you're steering the movement from how you move your elbow forward and back. And you'll notice that now you're rolling onto the opposite side of your chest. If I'm facing right, when I roll my head backwards, I'm on the left side of my chest. And when I roll my head forward into the table, I'm on the right side. If I were on my left side, I would be rolling back, opening my nose towards the ceiling onto the right side. And when I rolled forward, I'd be rolling forward onto the left side. So now you have that whole surface of your chest to engage with a broad palette of support. Good. Now move your head forward so it's bent forward. It's closer to the same shoulder, unless that's not comfortable. Move it as far forward as it's comfortable and nod yes. Be in exploration. Have this be an exploratory gesture, not a perfunctory assignment or movement command. This is something that's set up for you in such a way that you get to perceive something about your neck. Now roll into the table and away, using your elbow and your hand to push and pull you. Is it easier for all of you to roll forward and back, or is it easier for just the neck to roll forward and back? What do you think? Now move your head backwards on the table, still well within comfort. Nod yes. And this time will you draw a circle with your nose? As if there was a piece of paper right in front of your nose and you're drawing a circle on it. Great. Bring both palms down. Turn your head to the other side. Notice the difference in freedom. Go back and forth a few times between lying on the easy cheek and lying on the cheek that's a little bit more challenged. End up over there on the other side with your palm up on that side and your palm down on that side and the other palm up alongside you. Let's begin by finding the most comfortable place for the shoulder, for the elbow, and for the head, and then nod yes. This is not a perfunctory movement command. It's not over when it's done. It's about how much you can perceive in something that is subtle. Now roll into the table, back to the beginning, and use your elbow to pull you forward into the table and to push you backward away from the table. Make sure your belly is resting. Make sure your hips are resting. Make sure you can feel the front edge and front corner of the couch snug up to your pelvis. Good. Now move your head backwards a little bit in space and nod yes again. Oh, sometimes you get yourself into some position that is so incredibly useful. Now pull to roll towards the table and push to roll away. And now come back to the center with your forehead down, and then switch from facing to the right. Switch your arms. Switch your arms face to the left. Switch your arms face to the right and to the left. Notice how much easier that's become. Press up away from the surface of the couch. Please come down onto your back. Lengthen your legs. And this time, notice how much space is underneath the curve of your neck. And roll your head to the right and to the left. And notice whether more of you is receptive to the cascade of the sensations of the rolling, such that your collarbones are moving right and left. And maybe your breastbone is also moving right and left. So that's the difference between an integrated whole movement that's coordinated. Coordination just doesn't mean just good at sports. Coordination actually means a system that is well coordinated, the parts to each other, so that they function as a unified whole. Let's draw the knees up, roll to the side, and take it into standing. Noticing how it feels to have your head stacked above your shoulders, turning a little bit to the right and to the left, and noticing your sense of freedom and ease. We'll stop there, and I'll be back next week with part 2 and then part 3. Thanks so much. Do please subscribe. It really helps me. Thank you.